Robert Davies was framed by false witness 2007. They said the witness was Mario Chavez in the paper, but they had me come in and void a witness card. Sign it, void it. They ordered me to sign it, so I wrote void real big across because I didn't recognize the guy. I went back in the next weekend to see if anything came of it. They said, oh, he turned himself in. So whatever. I didn't have, I didn't connect it to events after that. Everything just fell apart. One thing led to another. And in retrospect, now that I know it's the gay mafia, they tell your girl you cheated on her. And these people have been messing with me my whole life, and now I'm not allowed to file a report. For no lack of trying, I didn't know what the hell was going on. Wanted the earth lost for years, and I just kind of went wherever path of least resistance. 2009, California. 2011, I'm back in Florida. I told two people that I knew when I was a kid that I was, I told Joe that he was like a good luck charm because there was a few times I might have died if he hadn't been there. And then I asked Kevin because he was like just like a big brother for a couple of years. Anyway, so they were supposed to help me get my feet on the ground when I got back up there, and then there was the other girl I was talking to who said that her husband was mean to her son, and I don't know what her deal is. This isn't the first time, but for some reason she's the only person I can talk to. She's the only person that'll talk to me. Anyway, Joe and Kevin are both dead by the time I get there, and I'm like, what? That's strange, but I mean, if it had anything to do with me, why them and not me? And I mentioned it around, but I didn't get any pushback. Oh wait. So anyway, I ended up back in Florida after she says she stole grand larceny from her mom, supposedly. And I'm like, you can't, there's just no way I'm getting involved in that. Two big rings. Well, the whole time I was up there, it was really inconvenient, and I ended up in a bad accident, and I ended up with something that I swore I'd never do. And the addiction was up and down because there was I still couldn't work without something. There's no way I could afford enough. So anyway, I worked a couple different jobs, and then she started jacking trinkets from her mom, little gold bracelets and petty jewelry and stuff, and sending me to the pawn shops. And the pawn shops kept popping the diamonds out, and I was like, that's weird, you don't pay for the diamonds. So one day she comes back with these two massive, and I'm like, you gotta be out of your mind. So I pass out, and she goes and pawns them herself, and I wake up, and she fixes me up, and I run down to the pawn shop. I'm like, those are stolen, right? He's like, well, the owner already took them to the other store. And I'm like, well, just so we're clear, you're in on it. And I was like, well, I can't be part of this. So I packed up my shit, and I got a ride with associate back to Florida, and it was pretty hellacious. But I got here, and I still even after I detoxed, I was still sick for a long time. So I went around trying to find some kind of opportunity, some way to just get back into the flow of things. Anyway, one dude comes up to me at the bar one night and grabs my shoulder, and he ends up giving me a job. And then I take him to the sheriff's office because he got a call, and he's in the sheriff's office for over an hour. He comes back out, he says, they said I raped a dude. And I'm like, this guy, I thought it was the funniest thing. All these years about these jingleheads just talking out of the sides of their mouths, and I'm like, I'm a bouncer, I don't get paid enough. So I ended up working there, and the girl that I met, her, I end up relapsed, and it's like just hellacious. Like, get away, like, let me detox. Give me a little bit of space. Give me some room to breathe. I ran out. Like, my grandfather died, and my mom gave me some of her inheritance, and that was all off the Walmart card. One day, I'm like, she put a razor to her arm, and when I tried to like get her to put it down, she got real like dramatic. So I got away from her without first do no harm. It was a thing of beauty, actually. But if you were just like listening, I mean, surgical. Not a mark on her, but I startled the hell out of her. She dropped it, and she ran crying back to the main house, and then comes back and starts. She has about 20 pounds on me, and she starts sticking her tongue down my dope sick throat. So, long story short, like, I didn't hurt her. I was not the only self-harm in that situation. Right, so I'll skip the whole tragic reunion part, but basically, come to find out, like, the retards waiting wherever I go for the past 7 years or whatever, including here, are under some kind of impression like it has something to do with me specifically. Not only that, but it goes back to the reason they run me off from the Army. I never let go of that. I was, because I was too sick to get on with my life. I could never figure out, like, what exactly my problem was until I realized, like, when I was 14 years old, my first love, after my first night with a lady, this homo comes over and tells her I cheated on her. Well, after that, I go home and I just get seriously just like on my deathbed for like a month and a half at least, and the doctor tells me it's mono, and she's like, I never had mono. And people that I've told about the experience since then, like, that doesn't sound like mono. Well, this was 95, and every time I went to the bathroom, I would pass out on my way back to, like, once a day I would get up to go pee, and I would pass out on my way back to my room, and I would wake up with this coppery metallic taste in my mouth, and I had fainting spells for years, and that was followed by chronic fatigue. And when you tell people gay mafia, it sounds like something they couldn't imagine. But turns out I have met a few of these characters, and there ain't a dude out there with my brain. That whole born that way thing, that's propaganda. That's like a mantra for child molesters. So there's been like a few convenient, like, introduced me to like people that taught me how to work computers and download stuff. Kind of convenient, like, if you go back, like, to right when I deployed, when I first shipped out for the Army, a bunch of my friends got waylaid. So if you're in a situation where your guardian angel hails from a place where they don't have roads, let alone cops, it might be kind of hard to believe. Point being, I have never sold cocaine, and it's important. All this subsequent intrigue, and most of it, I'm just going through the motions. I don't know why you want to do whatever. I'd rather find out why I've had a zombie apocalypse for the past. Yeah, no, we're not affiliated outside of, like, high school. You want to ban guns? Did you try banning the cocaine? Cross your mind? Oh, it's already illegal. As a matter of fact, I think I could probably go into depth about why that became illegal. We'll save that for another time. Suffice to say, I carry a cross for Colombia, but, I mean, the one dude, I saved his life, but what, because he's gay? I am by association? No, I was just always too ill to drag a family into my lack of ability to provide for myself. When I was 7 years old, it turns out, I got violated on a surgical recovery table. Missed my first year of football, and that when I was 14, that after that date, that metallic taste in the fanny split, I got exposed to nerve agent, and they sent a tutor from England. Why? Right. So we're clear. England got pulled into this thing along with the French, and like when I was 3 years old, I was at preschool, and a much bigger kid, turned out he was 5 years older than me, came and just started tormenting me for a few days, and then one day he outright attacked me, and I stomped on his face, and it turned out to be the son of Soviet-born Ivana Trump. Sounds far-fetched. I mean, I was there, but you know, these gambling types. So I've had Saudis like watching me since about 6, at least I figured. But 6 years old, I was topping off a bottle of the real thing, and the neighbor asked me, "What are you gonna do with it?" And I said, "I'm gonna make him drink it," because we had an abusive cokehead at the time, and then we moved out, and I guess it came to something, because after that they just started snitching on everybody. 12 years old, they said I raped a dog. A man raped. Rape is a dog. It's called the Watchtower. They edit evidence and put it in context all their own and sell it to somebody who you're expected to either be forgiven or die. All these years they've been making a campaign fund out of fighting illicit contraband with Luftwaffe toxic waste pills, and it started off with just dumping so much in the water that it came up on EPA analysis. But what I'm trying to say is, like, whatever you thought didn't happen when I was there. And whoever, we're not affiliated. Somebody messing with the phones? Well, why would that be legal if not for the sheriff, whose son I recognized from 71459 in circa 2000. I never sold cocaine. I was talked into buying a 2-pound bag of dextromethorphan hydrobromide. It was sold as a bulk dietary supplement online. And it was like, yeah, we'll cap these up in pills and sell them. And I really didn't like the idea, but it wasn't just him. I mean, I'm not trying to like implicate any more. But the point is, that's your boy right there. I never let go of my love for the military. It's the best part of my life. I always clung to that oath as just a shred of dignity. I didn't know why they ran me off. I guess I was flagged. I was sold early on. 3-year-old Irish kid stomps a 8-year-old Soviet Protestant, gets molested. So it's all been kind of, just me trying to be a good boy. I know a thing or two about a thing or two. I like studying theologies and linguistics and what some might call arcane. I've never actively participated in anybody's campaign fund. Somebody thought it was, something that it isn't. It's not. I should have a little terrorist of my own in 5th grade by now. I should have never met her. But having done so, you only get one like that, and just having the gay mafia be like, oh, he doesn't really love her. Doubling down. There's been significant interference, especially after 2007 when they framed that guy, because we didn't call the police when I was a kid. He was just being a dumbass. He got what he deserved, and that was it. So because he already had a conviction, I'm obligated to like kill him as soon as I see him because this is allegedly the guy. But that he would have been in prison because they ratted on him. They had me surgically raped afterward in revenge. He was framed. We didn't call the cops. They just put my name on. Throwaway. Vic Pro. Yeah, 92 started raping Dobermans. Like, couldn't get enough. So they brought in a ringer from overseas, and I don't know anything about all this. I just happen to be. I read a lot, and when I'm made aware that anything has to do with anything, I go look into it because, believe it or not, I'm formerly decorated so-and-so with a yada yada and certified combat lifesaver. And if you're not a medical professional, let alone a rescue professional, I mean, ask a grown-up. But yeah, you're threatening me on behalf of that blonde girl? Because it's not going to be this blonde girl. It won't leave me alone. So I got to drive 4,000 miles. So I substantiate a green light and can't hire a lawyer. I know the doctor ripped off insurance. So that opened up a whole realm of an aspect of pharmaceutical sabotage. What they do is they prescribe something from overseas and then they corral you into a staged event. And they say it was that medicine that did it. No, I haven't been allowed to report a crime. I mean, if the president forgave it, Elon Musk, I've made several reports over the years, and I've like burned videos like this to DVD and whipped them at neighbors and like handed them out at truck stops and stuck them in people's windshields. 2015, somebody tried to kill me. Doctor rip off insurance. Collections, okay, I get it, I'm not interested, but if you tell me what you want, but now they're playing it whatever type of way. But the stuff that I was saying online was never intended as any kind of negotiation or anything. Amnesty. I'm cutting deals with the third world. I guess if you're a grade school guidance counselor and you're in on it, like you already know that this kid's some billionaire bankruptcy mogul's campaign fund. It's easy to say, oh, he's a socially maladjusted. But I was kind of I wasn't that. Once I got into my groove, I was alright for a couple of years. But then, one thing, like a series of misfortunate events, led me to that alternative school where I ran into all these other characters and things kind of signals got crossed, I guess, but I've never sold cocaine. As far as people giving me whatever, I know what it smells like. I've never paid for it for myself, let alone bought it to sell it. So some doctor got wind of some judge and like whatever. The gay mafia has been watching me. I guess we call it child protective services. So all this other confusion, like somebody tries to contact you about international pharmaceutical, industrial, and political sabotage, you take the report. Stupid. I don't know what impression you're under. I gotta sit here and hash this out. Noel D. Smith, single, straight, no kids, never married, no abortions, no abominations, no divorces, no bankruptcies. Formerly had a potentially bright career until somebody crippled a Catholic schoolgirl with laced cocaine. I regret nothing. It wasn't me. Now what, I got a senator talking about like, you're gonna eat it. They liquidated NASA, Senator. I don't care what anybody thought they heard. I solemnly swear. First, do no harm. And to preserve and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I hung on to that long. And then By the time they greenlit me and I knew it was about me, and I left because I'm like, there's no way I'm backing out now. There's already too much damage. My family. And I still had no idea what any of this was about. But I studied religions. The same way all that other stuff. Like, I was never negotiating. We're not affiliated. Somebody brought some diaper in and raped a 7-year-old Irishman under sedation. Blamed the Italians. And then he's raping dogs, so now the Scottish are nerve gas, alternative school. You can't ban abortions and shotgun marriage. And if you want to make a religion out of it, you're ready to die for it, you probably figure she won't be a virgin. My homeboy was in Vegas and died. And then his sister, like, I'd have done anything. But they brought some shrimp out because they had something else in mind. Anyway, ample opportunity to say it to my face. So she's asking me, did he say anything to you? And I'm like, I can tell there's someone outside the frame. And I don't want to say anything that's going to get her hurt. Well, can I report the guy I know from Vegas? You people are so stupid. Thought I did something terrible, covering it up for the people with the money. I've never raised a hand in anger. I've had people restrain me or whatever. I have, for sport, I raised hands for $8 an hour. But I was never cognizant of any plot. It wasn't a revenge thing. If certain things happened, but I wasn't there. I didn't know about it. But now I do. I don't know what your objective is. Trying to get us invaded. Remember Sigmund Freud? He sold cocaine. Ring any bells? Why would it have to be me? So it was asserted that my protection ran out in 2015, and that's why I was greenlit on behalf of that blonde girl, not this one. So I went to look into it, and still didn't get any answers. I bent a few rules before I left because, I mean, I want answers before I leave. I come back and the love of my life, 7 months pregnant, and she ends up 9, watching her baby girl, his baby girl, die for 9 days in hospice. And she's never the same. She ended up taking off. Like, I never sold cocaine though. I have to sit here and put this together. People are following me around and making convenient, justifiable mistakes. They call it a religion. So I carry the cross for that girl that got raped off the bus. She knows I didn't rape her. The magic of television. This is why they canceled IQ testing, news team. First, do no harm, you're not a doctor. Now we got American sneaky, just thinking that they this is something they have to do, but they're not. No skin in the game. They don't realize they're up against the Hashashin. We lost the war in Afghanistan because you lost the war at home. I thought they crippled my sister because she was mixed. They're just racist. No, somebody laced up a German Catholic girl. You're not going to let me report that? They want to advance the gun control issue? It's not the same people, is it? mfrodeo.blogspot.com. First, I shall do no harm. And then, yeah, I'm battlefield triage.